unknown thoughts for the jungles. Is there a smile I see upon your face, as wide as a dozen seas? My heart sinks for you, like a leaf through a winter's breeze. Eyes that glow as bright as a star, filled with pounds of light, a glory of the day, and a goddess of the night. Your love is rarely seen, but at times it's just as satisfying as a comet through the night peace. Your love is tasteful, like a grandmother's Thanksgiving feast. I'm trapping as deep as you can go, but you see no inch of sadness expressed on my face. Your emotions lifted me as high as the evergreens, without any given trace. Everything I thought was impossible, now I've seen. We all have all these hidden feelings for each other. You continue to live as my unknown queen. I was 13.
I once read somewhere that imagination was the weapon in the war against reality. That made me wonder, what if unicorns were real? Would it kill the childhood of all my siblings, forcing them to grow old before their time, realizing that not all dreams come true? What if groundhogs had access to the internet too? Would they Google the latest dance moves, lacing up their shoes and straightening their ties, hoping for when their day arrives when shadows will play hearts with distant sunbeams? They might scream, however, they won't choke. What if the tooth fairy went broke? She was no longer able to feed into your candy obsession, pawning every tooth in her earthly possession just to keep the lights on, because believe it or not, she's afraid of the dark. What if Cupid didn't have a heart? Would he painfully pierce our souls with bullets of hate, exchanging his arrows for pistols, his hoister for missiles? What if the loudest person in the room only knew how to whisper? I'm thinking. Would you be able to interpret their stories? What if expressing yourself was termed as being corny? Would you hide behind this fragile state of trying to be cool, losing yourself within the pool of others, no longer seen as an individual, but only to be acknowledged as a wave? Why are we such slaves to fallen generations of failed expectations, trusting and believing should be a nation that we carpool to on Fridays? Maybe Saturdays wouldn't be so bittersweet to us anymore. Realizing that our early morning cartoons has been transformed into mid-afternoon naps, I wonder, what if Atlantis could be located on a map? Would it force dreamers to no longer dream, realizing that it's not as colorful as Disney made it seem? I wonder, what if Rapunzel was lazy? What if Mr. Rogers was diagnosed to be mentally crazy? What if Spider-Man got arrested for drinking while hanging God? I wonder, would this poem even exist? Would our childhoods get lost in the mist between late nights and early mornings? I fail to realize that after I stopped wanting to be a Power Ranger, life would end up so boring. I wonder, what if Trayvon Martin would have been seen as Batman and not a young man in black? Would their bullet been just as quick to heal as it was to kill? I wish that men like Zimmerman would go back to wanting to be Superman and not so much the Men of Steel. You know, the first time I stopped believing in Santa wasn't when somebody first told me he wasn't real. It's after I started believing they was right. It's time for us all to turn our pillowcases back into superhero capes and get out there and fight. Because this world needs us now more than ever. Poet, cue the theme music.
might go to the mall and spend it. Thursday, she gon' throw that ass back and spend it. Thank God it's Friday, catch me on the highway. Saturday and Sunday, getting to the money. For the team, huddle up. Every week, run it up. Monday, I'm back at it. Thank God that's Sackland. New way, new plays, new.
Just to reiterate, for those of you who don't know, my name is Jay, if you are new here. I am on a healing journey. I lost my son. He was 1 week old. And that was very hard for me. It still is very hard for me because it is still very fresh. And like I said, this was something I started doing just to take my mind off of things. And then I started to grow this community, with y'all. So I'm grateful to have y'all here.
Hi. What up? My name is simply Marquise Deshaun Person. But you can call me M. Dot. And this is From the Heart, Volume 1.
Y'all put your headphones on. Alright guys, that was M. Dot the poet with his poem called More Than a Hobby.
In the midst of all your dopeness, of all the flyness you are to this world, my girl, there's these times I can't even look at you. There's times when I honestly despise your very existence. If only you understood the amount of resistance it took for me not to stare when you're right there, fully aware of my obsession with your perfection. You would think I would have learned my lesson by now, amazed by how you always have a way of capturing my attention. Holding it for ransom as your own is nearly impossible. To be in a room with you alone without my imagination beginning to roam through hoops. A continuous loop of forbidden fantasies running full speed in the back of my mind. I'm fine, but there's these times I can't even look at you. And you know it. And flaunt it. Teasing me with your presence in a future that's past tense, with a heart that's brass fence, heavily guarded from trespassers with no intentions of watching the sunrise. I've baptized my own fears in hopes to one day being close enough to say good morning. The afternoons are so boring without you nearby. I guess that's why there's these times I can't even look at you. So I don't. Not to be rude, but due to the mood of this poem, I simply won't. Too afraid of their inabilities to look away, I would much rather stray than to yet again fall victim to your spell. If you can't tell, have a weakness for parallel lines and a mind that binds them together. Attached to a smile that shines through any weather, whether rain, sleet, or snow, drenched from head to toe in pure godliness. There's moments much like this when it's hard to resist the urge of watching greatness in its prime, greatness that's not even mine. I've gone blind from staring too long in your general direction. Fell into a deep depression and questioned the logic of God's worth. I'm a man, first. Birthed with the curse of turning ideas into thrills. You've given me chills simply by saying hi. And that's precisely why there's these times can't even look at you. And unfortunately, in the midst of all your dopeness, of all the flyness you are to this world, my girl, right now, this shit right here, son, just happens to be one of them. But thank you. God bless you for the memories. God bless you for the memories.
taste of your lips is still fresh, and the smell of your scent. How could I forget your words? How they cut me to shreds. But to tell you the truth, every piece is for you. I don't wanna be just a memory, and I don't wanna feel your wings break free. Because without you, I'm lost in the breeze. I gotta be strong now.
Listen, drop me a mic, sing this.
You like I've never ever loved somebody. I'll give you things you didn't even know you wanted.
I'm with the niggas tonight, and it feels alright. I'm with the niggas tonight.